What is up, everyone? And I can hardly believe it, but 2025 is upon us. In this episode of Ask MandR, we're going to be talking about the honey scam, the Lego Amazon scam that apparently is starting to pop up for some people, the potential future for Lego Skeleton Crew, and much more. If you have a topic or question from next week's episode, drop in the comment section below, hit the like button while you're there, and let's get into it with our first question from Bubba Brick. Says, have you heard anything about people getting scammed buying Lego on Amazon? I recently bought the Jedi Bob Starfighter to make a review, and it came with puzzle pieces and an Iron Man bobblehead thing. It was the official one too. Well, I was gonna say I saw someone else have a similar experience on Instagram, but it turns out this is also your account because it's the exact same thing you described. So this is apparently the Lego Realtor over on Instagram, and so we have photos of exactly what he got out of his Jedi Bob Starfighter here. And this is kind of the oldest trick in the book as far as Lego scams go. Basically, someone will get a set, they'll cut it open very covertly and pull out all of the, rare, expensive contents and then put something back in that weighs about the same and then return the item. So Amazon will give them the money back for it and they'll think they got a Jedi Bob Starfighter back or something back, but it won't actually be that item that they got back. Does that make sense? I think I remember someone telling me they got pasta in one of their 501st battle packs one time. Like, this unfortunately just happens from time to time, and there's really, especially when you're buying online, no way that you could possibly know it's about to happen to you. Now, fortunately, it seems like something that's fairly easy to get a refund or another one sent out to you for. Like, if you contact Amazon or Lego, I would definitely recommend doing that because they will refund you. They will send you out another extra copy of Jedi Bob Starfighter, ideally not with puzzle pieces and an Iron Man bobblehead this time. I suppose the silver lining is that it's not a retired set that you bought from someone on like eBay. You bought it from Amazon and they're gonna make it right for you. Like, if you bought it from a nefarious person online that's trying to scam you out of like a Cloud City that they said was sealed for $10,000, but they actually resealed it and took out the Cloud City boba. You know what I mean? Like, I hate doing this, but it could be worse. So yeah, luckily, just contact Amazon, contact Lego. They can try to trace it back as well and figure out who maybe is trying to scam them and put a stop to that as well. But next one from Cody says, has anyone else noticed that at Target, the only Lego that's still in stock are the Star Wars sets? And I've got a couple things with this. So first off, I did visit my Target, and the Lego aisle, as always around Christmas, was pretty wiped. And I would say that the Star Wars felt like it was more stocked than it has been in prior years. Now, this isn't the same Target that I grew up going to, so I wouldn't call it a one-to-one, but you are not like the only person either that like has said this to me. I've had other people reach out to me and be like, hey, does it feel like Star Wars sets are the only ones left on shelves? And I would say that that's a slight exaggeration because there are clearly other sets on the shelves, but it does feel like Star Wars is maybe the most populated section. This was the day after Christmas, actually, but you can see the Onyx Cinder up there, which I'm kind of surprised by because the show has been so good. We'll get more into that. The Dark Falcon also surprised me. I just feel like that's a really great set at a pretty fair price. I know 180 is expensive, but I still think the price is fair. But then you get some of the expected sets to be there, like the $80 Mos Espa pod race, the Droid Builder, the Desert Skiff, a bunch of the Clone Trooper sets that include really bad Clone Troopers with helmet warts that look ugly, like just not surprises there, frankly, to me. So, given some of the pricing increases over the past couple of years, I'm not shocked that a lot of Star Wars sets are kind of warming shelves at this point. But at the same time, everything is selling just fine. They're making plenty of money. They're not worried, I would say, yet. But yeah, it does feel like this is the first time in a while where there's a little bit more lingering around than normal. But it's still, like, I remember a time when I was young that you could go to Walmart and Target literally the day after Christmas and buy like Lego Star Wars battle packs for 50% off. Like that in the Lego store too. The Lego store would have these kinds of deals. I doubt I'll be able to find pictures, but I mean, they used to have sales the day after Christmas and they would have massive discounts. And if you look at the Lego store now in Orlando, like the day after Christmas, it was just all lined with Fortnite Durr burgers. Just so many of them left there. Now, I will say the two sets apparently that were left at the Orlando store, I don't know if I have a picture or not. If I do, I'll put it up. But the two Star Wars sets that were there were the Mos Espa pod race and the Venator, but still very slim pickings at that particular Lego store. It is kind of a unique Lego store compared to a lot of the mall Lego stores that maybe most people get to visit. But yeah, I think that shows that everything is still selling like crazy, even if, in some of these different markets, it feels like it's not. I also kind of wonder, kind of as time has gone on, like how e-commerce affects that too. Like, are people seeing these things in stores and then checking Amazon, checking Walmart.com, Target.com, whatever, and then not buying them in the store and then buying them online instead? And that's why you still see them on store shelves. Like, I'm just like trying to see, like, maybe there's a different explanation explanation, but that doesn't explain why a bunch of other stuff is still sold out too, comparatively. So anyway, next from Slither Bricks, he says, what characters do you think LEGO would make into Brickheadz next year if they would make a Revenge of the Sith Brickheadz pack like the episode 1 pack from last year? And I got some good ones here. I think first off, just imagine you waited all these years for a Palpatine's Arrest set. And the Palpatine's Arrest set we get is a 6-pack of Palpatine's Arrest Brickheadz. Now, I'm not against a Palpatine's Arrest Brickheadz set. I just don't think that it should exist without the actual playset or diorama, whatever, existing in 2025. It would be a dang shame, okay? But I think there's a chance maybe that that's what we end up getting, like as a Brickhead set, because that would be really cool. Like I still think that would sell like hotcakes. But I think perhaps a more appropriate Brickhead set would be kind of a 3-in-1, maybe 4-in-1, 5. You could add on more and more here. My original thought process was Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padme. Now, they realistically won't do pregnant Padme because Anakin chokes her and they wouldn't want to show that. But, I wish it was like that. It'd be pretty cool. And then I was like, well, what if you also add on, when Palpatine comes along to save burnt Anakin? So you could have Anakin, Obi-Wan, Padme, and then burnt Anakin, Palpatine, and a shock trooper. Like, that would be a really cool lineup. That would get you to 6-in-1. There's plenty of other things that would be really great. Something that includes a General Grievous Brickheadz would be really phenomenal. I mean, if you did like a true top characters of Revenge of the Sith, General Grievous, Anakin, Obi-Wan, I guess some form of Padme that isn't the version of her that gets choked, and a 501st Trooper maybe. I think there's a ton of potential for that next year, and I really hope they don't skip on that opportunity. Next from Big Black Weasel, he says, my comment will probably get lost in the masses. I read them all, by the way. I read every Ask MandR comment every week, so nothing gets lost, but he says, I want to point out that the CIS MTT in the Clone Wars deployed exclusively B2 Super Battle Droids, so they'd have to find a way to get supers in an MTT, and I would love to see this happen. I just don't think LEGO would do that. I think even if it is a Clone Wars MTT, they will still just do regular B1 battle droids instead of doing the proper B2 battle droids. So fingers crossed, I hope I'm wrong, but I just bet LEGO would do the wrong thing there and just do the easier option of B1 battle droids. Widget says, what is your opinion on the 2025 Black Pearl rumor, and what do you think we can expect? So this is a rumor that has popped up over the last couple days that LEGO will actually be bringing back Pirates of the Caribbean in 2025. Now, not necessarily as a full-fledged theme with a bunch of different sets, kind of like Indiana Jones. When it came back, it was kind of like its own theme, even though it was super short-lived. Pirates of the Caribbean appears to just be the Black Pearl as its own, basically, LEGO icon set, kind of like the Endurance type of, just a boat on its own with hopefully some minifigures to fill it out. Hopefully it's not just a display set. Hopefully you get the figures too. But I think we can simply expect a beautiful looking Black Pearl. I think that it will blow the old one out of the water. I think the Titanic and the Endurance are great examples of the fact that LEGO can make really beautiful LEGO boats. I'm just really excited to see what a modern LEGO, basically UCS Black Pearl would look like. I've been waiting for them to bring Pirates of the Caribbean back in LEGO form. I was not expecting it to happen in 2025 because I've got all of the sets downstairs ready to review when they bring it back, just like I had Indiana Jones and didn't do, so it's trending that way, I guess. But at the very least, I'll crack open my old Black Pearl and do a comparison between the two. Pepsi Max Edit says, due to the Marvel Advent Calendar for 2025 supposedly being canceled, what do you think of this for the future of Star Wars ones? And I don't think it affects the future of Star Wars ones. Marvel, I suppose, just wasn't doing as well as the others, and apparently they're bringing a Minecraft one in for 2025, so I feel like that just replaces it. I feel like they had gotten to too many advent calendars anyway, so I don't think adding on another one without removing one would have made a lot of sense, but I feel like Star Wars has to stay, City and Friends has to stay, anything else is expendable, and the Minecraft one, maybe is only coming out next year for the movie, and then they'll kick it out and bring in something else. I think it would be kind of interesting if for these advent calendars they had a rotating spot, like Marvel, Minecraft, year after that, Pirates of the Caribbean, Lord of the Rings, where every minifigure that they ever make is paywalled behind a $500 set, despite that being unethical according to certain designers, so I just feel like that would maybe be something that makes sense, is to make it kind of a rotating thing for those advent calendars. I think it means more for the future of advent calendars on the whole for other themes than it does anything to do with Star Wars. Star Wars will be around until Star Wars ends for LEGO. Ninja says, do you think LEGO will release both the UTAT and the MTT in the summer, since both are at the same price point of $150? LEGO doesn't usually release two big sets at $150 in the summer. So you might be correct in the fact that LEGO might not release two sets at exactly $150 every summer, but every summer they certainly do release a couple of sets or a few different sets at very high price points around the $150 mark. Like last summer, we got the C-3PO that was $140. We had the Onyx Cinder that was also $140. You had the Star Destroyer that was like $160, and then the Dark Falcon that's $180. You can see my point. Like clearly they'll release a bunch of sets at that $140, $150, $160, $70, $80 price point. And frankly, you can look back at any of the last 10 or 15 years of LEGO Star Wars and basically see that sort of thing. If you go back to like 2011, I think we had the Republic Frigate and the Millennium Falcon both come out in the same summer. I think that was $120 and $140 respectively. So you can see my point. Like clearly they will release two big sets, if not more, in that price range. And so I wouldn't even say that a UT-AT and an MTT are the only sets that would come out at $150 or more next summer, just based on the past experiences. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that. Landon says, in your opinion, do you think that LEGO will cheap out and put shock troopers in the UT-AT like LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga?
Nightmare, 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 nightmare. You can't do that.
Elbrick says, thoughts on the latest Skeleton Crew episode? And I believe that was episode 5. It's whichever one came out around Christmas Eve. And this is going to be a very, recency bias, hot take, but was it the best Disney Plus like show Star Wars episode of anything ever? It wasn't, but like recency bias, like playing hard into that, it felt like it was. After a lot of the slop that we had gotten from like Kenobi and what was it, Acolyte, this has been so refreshing. This latest episode, I'll just stay away from spoilers, I guess. The twists, the turns, the drama was insane. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for people, but I absolutely loved it. I was so excited to like watch it a second time. I've watched all of the Skeleton Crew episodes twice, so I have been loving the show. I think it's fantastic, and as it pertains to the future of LEGO Skeleton Crew, Garcia says, I just want people to know how pissed off I am that the Onyx Cinder does not include an SM-33 minifig. He is by far my favorite character in the show and the only original crew member of the ship. I'm loving the show, but without the fig, I don't think I'm picking up the set for $140. And maybe that's why it was warming shelves at Target. But dude, okay, so after the first couple of episodes came out, I said on one of these videos a few weeks ago that like, hey, it's okay that the figure wasn't there because he basically died 2 episodes in. But then the next episode, they go and drag him back onto the ship, and now he's become clearly, one of the main characters, and he's very integral to the story. Obviously, having more information at hand, yeah, he should have been in that set, and it is really disappointing that he was not in that set for $140, man. He just should have been there, and there's just no excuse for it, especially when everything else in the set is very accurate and like all the figures are pretty much perfect from what we can tell to the show. So in my opinion, I don't think that Disney didn't give LEGO this information. I would imagine that LEGO chose not to put the figure in there to save some money, like because it would require a new mold, and that is expensive apparently, but they make billions of dollars, so why do they make that excuse every time people say they want something cool? They make hundreds of new molds a year. It's not an excuse. So SM-33 should have been in the set. It's dang disappointing that he's not. The silver lining to all of this, though, is that this show isn't a dud. This show is going to get a second season. This show is clearly very popular amongst fans, and hopefully will continue to grow in popularity over time as more people discover it and they catch on that, hey, this is a really good show for my kid to watch or whatever. And I feel like LEGO will make another set from season 1. I don't know what, will maybe come in the next few episodes that they might make, or what from the first few episodes that they might make that would include SM-33, but I would be very surprised at this point if this show does not get a second cheaper set that goes ahead and includes SM-33. He would also make a great May 4th polybag minifig if they ever thought to bring those back. Just an idea. Just want to throw that out there. May 4th polybag minifigs were legendary, or if they wanted to do that thing like they used to do with Toys R Us where they'd give them the minifigs that came on the little stands. They did it with like the Solo movie for some of the figures that I guess that they deemed so important to get out, that like there was the stupid astromech droid from Rogue One that they made as one of those. Like they could do that sort of thing, by the way. They just don't. Like we all know that, right? Like LEGO is just not giving us figures like that for some reason or another. But yeah, SM-33, I would be very shocked if we don't get him in 2025 or 2026. Like he's got to happen, right? Next from Zeman Slayer says, is it true that the price and piece count for the upcoming ATST and Turbo Tank were swapped in the recent leak? Genuinely can't imagine a $50 Turbo Tank with fewer parts than the ARC 170. And the reason you can't imagine a $50 Turbo Tank with that few parts is because it's very unrealistic. I mean, we all, I think, agree with that, and that's why we were all shocked by the leak or the rumor. And I do think that the leak has kind of changed. I think most people now kind of agree that it will be a Rebuild the Galaxy Season 2 set. That's kind of the information that I have seen out there, and that's what I subscribe to personally. Now, on the other side of things, where the price and piece count swapped, I don't think that has happened. I also can't remember a time when that has happened. If anyone does, like, there's been a ton of Lego Star Wars leaks over the years. I just don't remember everything from ever. But if someone remembers the time where that's happened, let me know. There's no reason to believe that that is the case other than like just fans being fans and trying to like reason through why something would be that way. It's not how these sorts of things get leaked. I'm expecting the UCS ATST to still be a UCS ATST at like $200, whatever it was, but I don't think the $50 turbo tank will be a $50 turbo tank. I think it'll be a $50 other set, if that makes sense. So Aaron says, did you see the video about honey put out by MegaLag? I was wondering if Rakuten was doing the same thing and if that would change how you might do videos with them in the future. Hope you have a great Christmas. So yeah, I did watch that video. It's been a few days, so I don't remember every little detail of it, but the short of it, if you don't know, honey is a free online, this video is sponsored by, no, I'm kidding. Honey is a free online browser extension that apparently has been skimming referrals from other creators. So let's say that you use my like lego.com referral link in the description below and you've got honey installed, and honey says that it's going to find you the best coupon codes. And so you click the thing and it finds you the best coupon codes, but it gives you nothing. It finds you no coupon codes. It does absolutely nothing for you, gives you no benefit. And then you check out and buy your thing, whatever. The 3% or whatever commission that I would have made has now gone to honey, even though honey didn't actually do anything, didn't give you any benefit. If they gave you a coupon, that makes sense to me, but they didn't do anything for you. So like they've been, I guess, skimming affiliate money like that. And so MegaLag and now a bunch of other creators have talked about this, and I'm not informed enough to like really go super deep on it, but effectively it does seem pretty cut and dry to me that what they're doing is pretty unethical. I'll come back to it in a second, but I can kind of see some of that data through my lego.com affiliate stuff. Now, as it pertains to Rakuten, who I have worked with, I think they operate a bit differently. Rakuten is pretty straightforward in that it gives you cash back. So let's say you click on my lego.com affiliate link in the description below, but you've also got Rakuten downloaded. And so when you end up on lego.com, you click your Rakuten thing to get cash back. Well, now Rakuten is going to be credited for the purchase and not me. But that makes sense to me because Rakuten is providing you cash back. Basically, instead of me getting like the 3% from lego.com, Rakuten is getting the 3% from lego.com. I'm sure they have other deals where they get more percentage, but let's just keep it simple, right? They're getting the 3% and then they're giving you, say, 2%. So they're pocketing the 1% so they can make some money, but they're still giving you some cash back that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And so I can see the benefit there. I understand how that works and can reason through it. But I think what Honey is doing is quite different. Like basically if you go on Rakuten and you've got an account, it says that you can refer your friends and earn $30. And that's effectively like how it works for a lot of influencers. And so in my head, I'm basically like, well, if I refer someone and I get $30 from that referral, to basically make up for that, to be able to get $30 from lego.com affiliate links, you'd have to buy $1,000 of stuff through affiliate links. And I also think, especially in a case like Rakuten, where they're providing you cash back on pretty much everything you're going to buy, that is very beneficial for you too. I think it's very much a win-win. So I don't foresee anything changing with Rakuten, but if you do have Honey, if you do use Honey, you might be interested in that video by MegaLag. Now, I said I would try to get you some data from my lego.com affiliate links. And this is only my lego.com stuff. I've done affiliate links with Zavvi, with Amazon, with plenty of other companies through different like websites that you can do it with. But specifically with lego.com, there is a piece of data that I've been aware of called non-commissionable sales, because these are all lego.com sales from people that clicked through my link and bought something on lego.com at some point after clicking through my link, but apparently it's non-commissionable. Now, the reason for it being non-commissionable, I think, varies. And just for context, this data is only for the last 3 years. This doesn't account for 2019, 2020, 2021, where I was also using lego.com affiliate links, and this was probably also happening to a pretty significant scale, because I know I used plenty of affiliate links in 2020 when the Followers Battle Pack came out. But for reference here, for the $786,000 in return exceeded sales, the commission on that, if it was at the standard 3% that lego.com usually is, would be about $23,000. So a very significant chunk of change, I would say. Could buy me that graded 2005 VIP Darth Vader set if I had that $23,000 right now. I don't know the exact reasoning behind it, but I've always figured that that would probably play into it, but it's hard to know every piece of information there because it just doesn't, divide it down. I feel like I was kind of all over the place with that, but hopefully you got some useful information. And yeah, watch that MegaLag video on Honey if you want more intel on that. Anyway, that is it for the final episode of Ask MandR in 2024. If you enjoyed, hit the like button. If you have a question or topic for next week's episode, please drop it in the comments section below, and I'll see you in 2025.